For some time now, I've abused them, admired them, shown them off a little, and taken the time to get a good feel for what they offer. I'm the Aussie Inline Skater, and this is my Endless 90 review. A massive shout out goes to the Endless Blading Company for allowing me to provide you a comprehensive review on a unique set of frames. Taking the market by storm, they have absolutely exceeded all my expectations. Off the bat, the Endless Blading Company has done a top-notch job squeezing two setups into one. Observe the clearance here on my adapts with new 110s installed. Wheel rub was present when they were fresh, but such compatibility issues didn't exist with the Sepatrix skates. The adapt mounting is super low, so it was a tight squeeze. Rolling out on the 110s for the first time felt entirely foreign and strange to me. Turning was hard, my stops were pathetic, but they were significantly faster than what I'd been accustomed to using. I even considered getting a heel brake in the early stages of using them. They really are scary fast. As I spent more time on the 276mm 3x110 setup, things really begun to come together. My skating dramatically improved on them over the course of about a month. With the intent to skate the 110s downhill and fast on open city trails, I partnered my Endless 90s with the NPC-made Junk Voodoo Extra Firm racing wheels. I purposefully delayed ordering 90mm wheels when I got my frames, full tell knowing I probably wouldn't get off of them. That was probably a bad idea, as due to the volatility of the world right now, waiting for those wheels took almost as long as it did waiting for my frames. 3 months. This forced me to utilize the 3-wheel setup outside of the uses I intended to put them through. As I developed a higher competence with the, to me, lengthy 276mm wheelbase, I began to find them an absolute pleasure to roll on. Not only for what they granted me, but also for what they didn't. Turning on the flat 3-wheel setup still feels cumbersome, but that's relative to the 4x80 that I'm used to. On the upside though, I still have plenty of the agility necessary to tackle the varied topography that Brisbane City is well renowned for. The long wheelbase gives a sense of tram track-like stability, allowing me to easily hone in on going fast without the fear of speed wobbles. The high speed stability is so good that I feel like I can still push them marginally further if I had better technique. This is at speeds up to 50 km an hour too. As a well-seasoned urban skater that leans more towards the reserve side of skating, I found myself electing to use the 3-wheel setup on trails and open areas of my city. With the adaptation to using the 3-wheel setup, I became addicted to the easy access to high-speed skating. My advice is, don't neglect to wear pads, but also try not to clip your frames at speed and Superman fall into the concrete. That was not fun. Desiring a bit more agility, the 90mm wheels finally came after what felt like an eternity. The 4-wheel setup has what Endless calls a balanced rocker. Whilst waiting for my 90mm wheels to ship, I sported some 80s to get a feel for what the rocker was going to be like. I grew impatient waiting, to be honest. What Endless claims is true. The 90mm wheels made the entire setup feel what I can only describe as balanced. It felt edgy, yet intuitive. Traditionally, skating on fresh urethane's a nightmare. This was undoubtedly my exact experience with the 3-wheel setup with fresh racing wheels. But this rocker, I gotta tell ya, it's truly amazing. From the get-go, I was doing gazelles and fluid turns, all with fresh wheels. It felt amazing. I, the Aussie Inline Skater, fell in love. Who'd have thought that a skate enthusiast falls in love with their equipment? Guilty. As I found myself longing for more roll time on the Endless 90 Rocket 4-wheel setup, I began to take a keen interest to flatland skating. Some of you may know this as wizard skating. The rocker is only slight, about 1mm effective. It opens up the agility of these frames to an entirely new level. So much so, I'd say I have the same kind of mobility to change direction as I do with my Rain Chronos hockey skates. They're that good. To my surprise, I'm finding the challenge of learning flatland tricks rather therapeutic. If it weren't for these endless frames, my equipment just wouldn't be up to the job to access this wizardry. One of the greatest features of these endless frames is their versatility. One day, you could be hitting open trails for a long distance fitness run. The next, challenging yourself to learning new skills, dancing away majestically to your favourite music. I don't know of any other frames on the market with this much value. Of all the good points about these frames, they aren't with any drawbacks. They're petty things, but for some could be a factor that prevents you from getting them. Currently, Endless offer their frames in 3 sizes and 2 flavours. Silver, a raw alloy look which I absolutely adore, but also a satin black finish. It's a really nice finish too. If you're someone who likes a clean finish but doesn't like seeing marks on their frames, I definitely recommend the silver, but they're currently only offered in those 2 flavours across the 3 different sizes. So if you want other colours, you're probably going to have to colour them yourself. When it comes to mounting, Endless use the 165 and 180 standard for their frames, with the exception of the Endless 100s, currently only being offered in the 180 standard. For some inline boots, not all but some, this could lead you into some compatibility troubles. If you're unsure, and your skate isn't listed as compatible on their website, Endless Blading has been killer at responding to all my inquiries. I've got no doubt they'll be able to give you a simple, straightforward answer to guide you in the right direction, and let you know if what you're looking at will work for you. Also, bear in mind, some skate boots, like my Adapts for example, may mount the frames slightly rearward. This does change the frame's ride, but it also means that they won't mount symmetrical. However, I've grown to really come to enjoy it. The frames are also constructed the same for both feet. There's no left or right frame, which simplifies mounting, but it does mean that the axles are on the same side on both skates. If you're someone who likes to tighten your axles as you go and prefer to have them on the inside or the outside of your skates, it's a slight hiccup, but this is kinda going overboard in the complaints department. If you're someone who gets triggered by small things like that, this is nice to know, but it does mean wheel rotation is super easy, as you know what side your axles need to be loosened on. Finishing on a positive front, I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I knew that I was going to like, or even love, the Endless frames, but in all honesty, I did not think that I was going to love them this much. I'm having an absolute blast and a killer of the time on them. Yes, this video, to a degree, is endorsed, sponsored, whatever you want to call it. Endless have provided me with some frames to review, and I've tested them extensively for quite some time now. This video has been delayed for quite some time, but it's also given me a really good opportunity to spend quite a lot of hours on the frames, gathering some knowledge, seeing how they feel and whatnot, and putting this video together has been rather difficult, but also rewarding. It really works out, and I hope it's been of value to you guys, my viewers. If you've got any questions on anything that I haven't covered in the video, please do leave a comment below. I'll try my best to answer every single question. I may not get to you straight away, especially given the time zone differences around the world, but I can guarantee you that within due time, give me a few days, I will probably get around to your question and answer it as wholeheartedly as I can in order to give you guys some value and further on add to the value of this video. Depending on what device you're on, computer, phone, tablet, you name it, smartwatch, if that's your thing. If you navigate into the description below, you will find in there a link to the Endless Blading website. Via the website, you will find all 3 sizes of the Endless Blading frames, that being the Endless 80s, 90s, and 100s. All in their appropriate flavors, be that silver or black. Currently, Endless are taking pre-orders on their frames as they are experiencing a very large demand on them. These frames are hot at the moment and they're selling like hotcakes. So, if you're keen on getting yourself a pair of these Endless frames, regardless of what size they are, get on the website right now, hit that purchase button. If you're sitting on the fence about purchasing them, I say go for it. You're not going to regret this purchase decision. And while you're waiting, it's probably wise to get some wheels too. I want to finish up on giving a personal thank you to Brad, the founder and owner of the Endless Blading Company. Brad has been an absolute legend in answering all of my questions, even the dull, boring, mind-numbing ones. He's been wholehearted and very sincere and genuine. Also, I've got to give him a big special thanks for this unique opportunity to provide my viewers, you guys, some information, insight, some really in-depth information into these Endless frames. As I said before, if there's anything that I haven't covered in the video, which I'm sure there's many, you guys have so many questions about these frames, please do jump in the comments below and ask those questions. I'll do my best to answer all of them. As always, stay sharp, get good, and most of all, have fun.